What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. And right now I'm going to talk about the movie You're Cordially Invited, a straight-to-streaming movie. This is the type of movie that would have made it to the theaters a few years ago, and then COVID happened, and your smaller movies like this just seem to very often go straight to streaming, even though it's got some big stars in it. Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon both were former box office draws. You know, Will Ferrell had that huge run with Talladega Nights and Step Brothers and all the great stuff that he did in that time period. And Reese Witherspoon obviously had her big box office run also. But now it seems like they are both kind of in this streaming world. And they made this movie called You're Cordially Invited. It's about two couples who are getting married, and they accidentally, through no fault of their own, have their wedding booked on an island that's really only supposed to have one wedding per weekend. Well, the island got double booked, and they are there trying to figure out how both of them are going to have their wedding on this island on the same weekend. This island is only built for one wedding a weekend. And I've seen some reviews on this movie. Some were positive and some were pretty resoundingly negative. And I fall more on the negative side. Not that there isn't good things to be had here. So Will Ferrell plays kind of the overbearing single dad of his daughter who's getting married. And Reese Witherspoon plays the sister of someone who's getting married. And they're both kind of put in charge of putting on these weddings. So a lot of responsibility falls on their shoulders, and they feel a lot of responsibility to make sure that the person that's having the wedding, has the best experience possible. And because of that pressure, it brings out some of the nasty side of each one of these characters. And I think that's where this movie really kind of fell for me, where you're supposed to be rooting for Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell. Maybe you're rooting for them to be successful. Maybe you're rooting for them to be friends. Maybe you're rooting for them to fall in love. But you're supposed to be rooting for them. You're supposed to be on their side. And there's lots of times where they just kind of crossed the line, and it just kind of got nasty. And it got nasty to the point where it just kind of wasn't fun. And I think that's where a lot of this kind of just... It was a hitch for me. It was a problem for me, where it wasn't funny. It was kind of cringy. And not in the way that The Office was cringy, right? Seeing Michael Scott go through some of his shenanigans, it was cringy. Sometimes it was hard to watch, but you could look back on it and it was funny. Where this, it was, You're Cordially Invited, there was some cringy stuff, and looking back on it, it really wasn't funny. It was just hard to watch. Will Ferrell does Will Ferrell, though. I mean, he's playing a classic Will Ferrell character here, animated, over the top, and there are moments where I did laugh out loud. There are moments that really worked, where the comedy worked. The concept and where they took these characters, that's what really didn't work for me. It went to some uncomfortable places. But overall, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It won't be the worst movie of this year. It's just a movie that I feel like I have to go slightly negative on. There wasn't enough laughs to justify some of the cringiness, a lot of the cringiness that was in this movie. So I would have liked to have seen it go to the big screen, and had I seen it in a theater full of people, maybe I would have gone slightly positive on it. Comedies, a lot to do with comedies is about the energy of the audience, and when there is no audience and you're just sitting in a room watching it by yourself, it doesn't always have the same feel. And maybe this would have turned out different had I been in a theater full of people, but I wasn't. I was in my man cave watching it on my 55-inch TV, which, clearly isn't the same as watching it on the big screen in a room full of people. So, all right, guys, like I said, slightly negative here. Maybe 4 out of 10 is what I would give it. So that's my take on You're Cordially Invited. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.